Hello and welcome to another episode of There Are No Secrets, where we explore mysterious true crime cases through the eyes of well-known psychic detective Pam Coronado. Today, we have special guest private investigator Stephanie Kinney. Hi Stephanie, good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
So we've previously looked into a case that you're working on, Abdi Sharif. I'm sure you've got quite a few questions for Pam. And as usual, Pam will be monitored by her friend Vicky. Stephanie, could you just give us a little background on Abdi, please?
Yeah. Okay. So Abdi went missing on January 17th from his place that he worked, which was Target. And basically walked across the parking lot, across the street, and disappeared in a snowstorm, mind you, around, in the evening. And unfortunately, up until it was about May 4th is when his body was recovered from the river. The detectives state that there was no foul play, which me, going off a whim, I don't trust anybody, and I went and looked for myself. I'm not going to just go off what they're saying because I feel like they've never cared about the case to begin with. When I went and checked out the autopsy and stuff like that, it didn't, there was no sufficient foul play. There was no, bullet wounds. There was no sign of strangulation. Nothing. And actually everything was with him during that time, meaning like his cell phone charger and his headphones, and he was still in his shoes, everything that he was wearing the day that he left.
The other question I had for you too is you had said that there might have been some evidence that his feet were bound. Did you prove or disprove that?
I was able to have, I call it my Des Moines posse. They were able to get a video clarity of the body and of him getting pulled from the river. And it was a hook. I think they just hooked his feet to pull him up, lose him in the current and stuff. But I mean, it's weird because when I went back to the actual area and I videoed it and took photos of where he was, found. And I'm driving back and it's everything. I mean, you were spot on. Actually, when the first time when we talked about the Lithia, the car dealership.
Yep.
It was on that side of the river, and me and my posse were literally going to go there, that Saturday, on the other side of the river, and we just didn't go that far down. But there's a lot of things that come into play when I look back, and I'm like.
So I was a little thrown too when I learned that there was no evidence of any sort of obvious trauma to his body. So we're going to relook at what's going on there. One thing I would say before we start, Vic, though, is I never got the idea of this kid being suicidal. I just never got the idea or feeling of him being suicidal. There was obviously something going on for him, which came up for me in my first reading, is that he had sent a text, I think, to his sister or someone. He'd sent a text to somebody saying that something bad had happened or this is bad or.
I mean, no, like the text messages, so where it says, I don't think I'm not going to be working at Target anymore after today. I would like to tell you, or basically indicating that I want to tell you, but if I tell you, you might be involved or you might get involved. And it's complicated and, just, you don't see me again, maybe you'll see me at another store. Like it just.
I get this innocence about him, but I kept feeling like he got hooked up with these people and then they got in trouble or one of them got into trouble and then he thought that was going to bleed over into him somehow. So I did get that strong sense in my first reading that, somehow he got entangled in some sort of a situation.
Okay. So I would just tune into him if I were you, just tune into him and just start like you normally do and just tell us what you see, and then we'll go from there.
As far as
wherever it takes you to, we want to know how he ended up in the river. So that might be the place to start, and then we know we always go on the roller coaster ride.
yeah, we do. But Steph, you made it for a long ride.
Next time.
Okay. Let me just go back in time. I've got his picture up in front of me. Let me just go back in time to, I always pick the one in the blue shirt with the big smile on his face because it just seems like him. Okay, so let's just go this way. It's dark. It's cold. I feel like whatever happened that night. Let me just see if he's alone or if there's someone with him when he goes into the river. So here's the thing that's kind of interesting and challenging to me because it's pitch dark out there. It's pretty dark at the river.
Listen. If you can't see them, then listen to what's going on.
Well, here's what I heard. Here's what I saw and what I heard. And so now I'm trying to unravel it. Because I heard the splash of him going in, but was the river like partially frozen? Because it's not moving normally or something.
I mean, we don't know for sure. At that time, it wasn't all the way frozen over.
Yeah, it's not frozen over, but it's also like chunky or like sluggish, like moving slow. Yeah, it's weird because it's like it's still moving, but it's chunky or.
Yeah, it's not all the way frozen over, but it's starting to get there.
Right. Because I don't get like, someone being thrown on top of ice or falling on top of ice.
No.
I hear the splash. But now I'm trying to see if he's alone or if there's somebody with him. Because I do hear it. And like I said, it's so dark out there. I see headlights though. I see headlights. I hear people talking. He's not alone. I hear some guys talking. I see headlights pointing out toward the water. So I hear, like I said, I hear people. I hear conversation. I see the lights, headlights pointing out toward the water. There's two or three.
Okay, if you can go up to the car, and how did he get out of the car?
I'm just counting the people in the car because I kind of feel like he's in the trunk. I
guess the question would be, how did he get in the trunk?
Yeah.
Where did he get in the trunk?
So one of the things that keeps coming to me, and then I'll answer that question. One of the things that keeps coming to me, it's always come to me this way with him, is that I just don't feel like he saw this coming. I mean, there was something going on for him, but I still think he's had some sort of naive trust in these people, or at least he at least underestimated them. I just don't think I think he was naive enough that he didn't see this coming. Because it's like he went with them willingly. You know what I mean? He went with them willingly. And all along, I keep getting that they sort of, it's like they weren't really his friends, but they made him think he was their friend, or because I keep getting this trying to fit in or trying to be a cool guy with them or something, and but them being kind of bad guys. I just always get this idea that he was sort of really naive about these people. But anyway, back to, I'm just going to go to the point where I start feeling scared, because I do feel a point where I start getting scared. Like all of a sudden I start to realize something's wrong. I'm checking and double checking. If you're wondering why I'm quiet, I'm checking and double checking. I'm just making sure he was not alive in the car, making sure he wasn't alive when they threw him in the river. I don't see that kind of struggle. I don't see like him physically struggling at that point. So I really don't think so. So I really think I have to go backwards. And then I really think he would have, I feel like if they had started driving toward the river or doing something weird, he would have jumped out of the car. He would have got spooked and tried to jump out of the car. I just get that sense about him. But so backing up to where I feel fear. I still believe this. I still believe they go to some sort of abandoned building. I really still believe that. I think that this is like a place they went to party, or a place they'd go hang out, and I don't think that was too out of the ordinary. Because I don't get alarm bells going off for him at that point. Just trying to figure out what in the world happened to him. I think the part that I'm struggling with is I know this guy had a gun. I know at least one of these guys had a gun. May not have used it, but I know for sure there was a gun there. And I just have the hardest time not understanding why there's no evidence of him being hit in the head or anything. I just don't get it. Because I do feel like he gets hit in the head.
There was, from the chest up, he was bone.
Okay.
Skeleton.
Okay, so there's no soft tissue to know. Okay. Because I keep thinking he's hit in the head. I'm getting blunt force trauma to his head.
If you're getting the blunt force trauma to the head, what happens when he gets hit in the head?
I think he goes down. I think he gets knocked out.
Where in the head did he get hit?
I was getting it, in this part.
Did he get hit with an object or a fist or?
Yeah, let me see what's. I kind of thought he might have gotten pistol whipped, to be honest. Kind of thought he got hit in the back of the head with that gun. And I keep seeing the gun too. It's like a handgun, silver handgun. I've always got this cruelness about it, but let me just dig into the why more. I've always got this cruelness about it, sort of like these guys pretended to care about him, but they didn't care about him. Just this really cruel character, these really cruel characters.
Can you describe what they look like?
Yeah, and I've always felt like they were lying to him, or.
I think, Pam, did you want to maybe do whoever took Abdi's life? Did you want to read him and give us a full description of what he looks like?
Okay.
Approximate age and as much detail as possible.
Yeah. The guy, the one who actually did that fatal blow, let's say. Yeah. And I will say too, like, he may have been afraid Abdi was going to talk or had something on him, or was going to blab something in his naivety. I don't know, something, but let me just look at the guy. So I don't know how tall is he, Abdi?
He is 5'6", 120.
5'6". Okay, so he's small. Okay, because I get this guy being a lot taller, but he may just be taller than him. because I kind of get this sense of looking up at this guy. So he's at least probably somewhere between 5'10", 5'11", somewhere in there. He's definitely, Abdi looked up at him. He definitely looked up at him. I was trying to get his description looking at him. Okay, so he's definitely taller. He seems thin to medium build. He's not heavy or anything. I just need to get him better. I get this shadowy, dark figure I keep seeing. Dark hair, probably some color to his skin. Okay, so there's, just focus on the one. There's different ages popping in. So they're older than him. I want to say somewhere in like the 28 to 34-year-old range. Yeah, I know he's threatening him with the gun. I know he is.
Does he have any distinguishing features about him?
Yeah, the thing that comes up, the only thing that comes up that's interesting to me is he's got more hair. He's got more hair than Abdi. So whether he's got like an afro or his hair just sticks out more, it's not cut so short like that.
What color is it?
It's black or really dark. And then I feel like there's tattoo, like I feel like he may have a I don't know if it's a teardrop tattoo or I feel like he's got a tattoo here though. You know those teardrop tattoos they have? I don't know for sure if it's teardrop or if it's something in that vicinity though. Because I keep getting like down his neck but right here. So he's got tattoo. I wish I could make out I can't get his name. I feel like he goes by like a nickname, like a one-word nickname.
Yeah, they all do.
Oh, okay. Like it's not his name, but it's like
Right.
they call him
There's like yeah.
something. I think it starts with a B, but I'm just not sure.
You said he's the one that hit him with the gun, right? Pistol
Yeah.
whip? Okay. What happened just prior to him pistol whipping him?
Because I get them all standing around, and I kind of get him sort of surrounded, or they're all sort of standing around, and talking. What are they talking about? And there's something about money. There's definitely something about money comes into it. You know, it's almost like they wanted him to do something illegal. They wanted him to do something. So whether they wanted him to rob somebody or steal from somebody, or they were trying to get him to do something like that. Maybe like an initiation thing or something, you know, I don't know. But they were trying to get him to do something like steal from somebody, or it has to do with money. They were trying to get him to do something.
Out of the three guys, who owned the car?
So I saw the car last time too. It's a dark colored sedan. Some sort of like Toyota or Honda and who owns it? One of these guys is short and heavy. He's round. One of these guys is short and round. So the other guy's sort of tall and thin. There's another guy who's short and round. And I think he might be the one who owns that car.
Okay, can you describe him for us?
He seems to have lighter skin than the other guy, maybe. There's probably still some color, olive color or some color, but I feel like his skin's maybe lighter than this other guy. And then, I don't know, he's just round. Brown, dark hair. Let me see if I can even see his hair, because and he may be a little younger too than the other guy. He may be more like, 26-ish, mid-20s. I'm trying to see if he's even as tall as Abdi or shorter. He's either the same height or shorter than Abdi. Is there anything distinguishing about him? Other than, like I said, he's really pretty chubby. He seems to be like, the other guy seems to be like the leader. He seems to be the follower. And they've done some stupid stuff too, like carjacking, or this other guy has done some. He's got a nickname too, you're right. They all have like a stupid nickname. Yep.
All right, so is there anything else about him that if Stephanie saw him, he would stand out?
I mean, the thing that stands out to me about him is he doesn't look like a gangster. He doesn't look like somebody that you would typically associate with this kind of behavior. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't look like a tough guy. He looks like a guy who sits on the couch and eats too much. That's what he looks like. But yeah, he doesn't strike me as somebody, if you ran across him, that you would, be intimidated or scared of him. He just looks like sort of an average guy.
How about his clothes?
Yeah, it's interesting because he wears pants that are not like he's not wearing jeans. He's wearing like the other kind of pants, like Dockers or something, like regular, like different kind. He's not wearing jeans because I just see these dark colored pants. It's possible. It's definitely possible that he could be a coworker.
So now go back to Mean Guy.
Mean guy.
And where does he work? Other than Thugs or Us.
Yeah, mean guy. And he's older. Does he even have a job? I don't think mean guy works at a job like that at Target. He's more like a gangster. No, he's more like a criminal. That's what he does. He's more like a criminal guy.
How does Mean Guy and Short Round know each other?
I love your description. How do these two know each other? That's a good question. I feel like they go way back too. It almost feels like it's through somebody else. It's like they met through somebody else. So another guy or a brother or somebody's brother. Like, I feel like
Okay.
they met through some other male.
So what about the third guy? You said there's 2 or 3. Do you actually see a third guy?
Yeah, there's 2 or 3. Like I said, when I go to the river and I hear them talking, see if I can hone in on that car and the third guy.
Do they have glasses?
The short, round guy might have had glasses. But then I thought I was making that up, so I didn't say it.
You have to say it.
Nope. It's gonna kill me.
Darn it, you have to say it.
You have to tell me.
Yeah, he may have glasses. Yeah. Not the tall guy, but the short, round guy might. I just thought that was so cliche. All right. So Vicky goes, I'm gonna murder you. Third guy in the, I know that there's a third guy because I feel that presence when they're standing around before he gets hit. I don't see just the three of them. That third guy. Let me get this third guy. He's really uninvolved and in the background. He's there. It's like he's present, but he's not. He's not as threatening as the other two for some reason. And it's what's interesting too is like he reminds me of Abdi a little bit in that he's not as physically imposing. Like he's not tall like the other guy. He's not rotund like the other guy. He's more kind of built like Abdi. I wonder if he's the mysterious connection that Abdi thought was a friend. Because he's more like him. He's more like a normal guy, and he reminds me of like his size and stuff. And he's not really so threatening. So I'm almost wondering if this is like somebody he knew from high school or somebody from work, or I just feel like this third person is almost like in Abdi's position, maybe even like got involved with these characters. That's the thing, is like I have a hard time even seeing him.
Try going to January 17th, 2020 at noon for him.
Yeah, this third guy. Noon, 2020, January 17th. This third guy. It's really weird too, because I keep hearing that like he may have just had a birthday, like just turned 18 or something around that time. Hopefully that's not Abdi, but no, I don't know.
It was in November.
Okay, because somebody had a birthday. This guy may have had a birthday like right around that time period, like in January. But anyway, back to where he was at noon on that day. Yeah, this one, I think he's young too. I do. I think I think he just turned 18. And I feel like he's home or with his family, or he lives at home.
Can you see him better there so you can describe him a little better?
Yeah.
Height, weight, race.
He's probably white. I think his family's white. So I still have a hard time seeing him. I can see everybody around him, but for some reason I'm having a hard time seeing him. Okay. But his family looks white.
What do they call
him? What do they call him? I don't know. I keep hearing some weird word like MI, and then it ends in an O. Like MI something, and then it ends in an O.
What language are they speaking?
Well, I wondered that before when all those guys were talking, if they were actually speaking English. I wasn't sure if they were or not, because I couldn't understand what they were saying. So it's almost like I don't know. There's an S in there. Like Massimo, I don't know. Something weird.
Not in English.
That's English.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing I can see about him is he may have like light brown or sandy, darker blonde or light brown hair. I don't feel like he's got the dark hair. He's like got a lighter brown hair. Yeah, I don't know what the M. I keep hearing the M. Some name that starts with an M, though.
Okay. How do these guys meet up with Abdi?
I feel like they pick him up. I feel like they pick him up in the car. It seems like it was prearranged.
How was it prearranged?
Maybe even earlier, like either the day before or that day earlier or something. Like it seems prearranged.
How did he normally talk to these guys? Meaning social media, text message, on the phone, face to face.
I don't feel like he really knew the scary tall guy that well. I feel like the other two. I mean, I feel like he probably did work with one of them and talk to him at work, but in person. Yeah, definitely on the phone. He probably used some sort of a Snapchat or some sort of app like that.
So, but that day that this happened, Abdi's at work. How does he get from work to meeting up with them? How does it all play out?
Yeah, I definitely feel like they had like a meeting spot where he's going to pick him up in the car.
Okay. Who's driving the car?
Round guy.
The short round. So where's the Moon Guy?
I don't think Mean Guy's in the car when he picks him up. I think they go meet up with him.
Is the other, I'm just going to say unknown, is he in the car when he's picked up?
Yeah, that other kid may be in there because I kind of feel like he gets in the back seat, in the back, behind the driver.
When do they meet up with Mean Guy?
That's where I think they meet up at that building.
Where did they pick him up? Meaning Abdi. I'm sorry. Where did they pick Abdi up?
I see him walking down a street, and then it's like he goes to like, I don't know if it's a grocery, I don't know if it's like a gas station or like a little mini mart place, but he goes to some sort of it's down the street, like a mini mart or something, or gas station or something.
When he picks him up, is Abby inside the mini mart, outside the mini mart, or somewhere else? Meaning, is he just around it?
I think he went in, but then he came back out.
And you're at the mini mart. Where does he meet the car?
I kind of feel like they just pulled up too, and he came out and got in. Like
somebody did somebody see him? Would somebody have been able to see him get in that car?
Well, he would have been on video camera. He would have been on video if he went in, because he might have gone in to buy a drink or soda, or you know what I mean. Like I feel like he went in, but then I feel like they pulled up. He just went and got in. So there could be, if there's a camera in front of that place pointing to the parking lot.
I didn't want to lead you down that, but that's what I was going for.
Yeah.
Where he would be in relation to that, or did somebody see him? Okay, so he picks him up at the mini mart, and then where do they go?
I just feel like they go inside. I've always felt like they go inside this building. It's abandoned or something. It's the place that they go, that they hang out or whatever, whether they party, whether they whatever.
What is Abdi feeling when they go into that building?
The one thing about the whole scene that strikes me as interesting, though, is that, like, I think Abdi's uncomfortable with that guy right off the bat. Like, he may know the other two, but this other guy, I think that he doesn't know him or doesn't know him well, and he seems like edgy. Like, I just think that he feels his first bit of alarm at that point with this, like, who's this guy or what's he? I don't know. I just think that he's not comfortable with this third guy.
And then what
I
happens?
just feel like they purposely too brought him to talk to this guy for some reason, because he's kind of scared at seeing this guy. Like he's afraid of him. I really think he's afraid of this guy. I don't really think he's afraid of the other two. I think he thought that they were his friends and stuff. But this other guy, I think he is afraid of him. And again, I keep getting this sense that, but this guy's trying to make him do something, or he's like,
Yeah, maybe it makes sense of like why he said he wasn't going to work at Target anymore.
exactly, like, I'm going to start, running drugs or something.
Yeah.
Like, I have a new job.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I keep getting that sense like, meet your new boss, you know what I mean? And it's like, this dude's scary. And I just feel like this guy wanted him to do stuff that was totally illegal, but there's more to it than that. There's more to it than, I want you to run drugs or I want you to do carjacking or whatever. Like, I actually feel like he actually wanted him to like steal from his own family or do something horrible that he wasn't going to do. Because at some point I keep thinking he said no. I kind of feel like he was blackmailing him or something. I feel like he was sort of blackmailing him or something. But I almost feel like he was trying to get him to like steal from his own family or steal from somebody, something. And I think this guy too is like not somebody that you say no to, because he's super intimidating and like you just don't cross him.
So he hits him in the head, and he goes to the ground. Then what happens?
And I don't see the other two jump on him, or I don't see like a gang fight where they all jump on him. I don't see that. I don't see, all of them like start kicking him, or you know what I mean, like when he's on the ground. I don't see that scenario. Though they might have kicked him to see if he was alive, breathing, or moving. Kind of feels like a fatal blow.
So then what happens?
Because I kind of feel like this dude knows. I feel like this dude knows too, like how to hit somebody. Because I don't see him get up. I don't see him get up after he's down. So I don't see him come to. I don't see more of a fighter struggle. You know what I mean? I just feel like he goes down. Because because I don't even know if that guy meant to kill him. I just think, he hit him. But then, he doesn't rouse and they realize he's not getting up. I don't think this, I honestly don't think it was planned. I don't think they planned to kill him. I think they may have been planning to intimidate him or force him into something or do something, scare him. I don't think that they were intentionally going to kill him that night. I really don't think so. I think it happened.
Once he goes to the ground, what is their reaction?
Their reaction, shit. Shit, what are we going to do? I they keep like kind of kicking him and like, is he going to come to? I think they keep sort of nudging him and kicking him to see if he's going to come to. Once they realize he's not breathing, because this is where I hear the arguing and the shit. What are we? He has to have been bleeding. He has to have been bleeding. The back of his head has to have been bleeding. Because now they're worried about putting him in the car.
Make them in the trunk?
In the trunk. Because he's got a head wound. he's definitely got a head wound. Now they're worried about him bleeding in the trunk. You know, that vehicle should show up. That vehicle, if you had surveillance stuff from the store, that vehicle should be on that video.
Yeah, but it's anything over 30 days is usually gone.
Gone.
How often do they go to this building, this abandoned building?
Probably at least like once a week. It seems like it's like a party spot or like a hangout spot, or okay, probably like once a week, maybe.
So this guy, Fat Man, he'd be on one of his Snapchat friends.
We have all these names for him.
What?
Okay, round guy, fat man.
Short round, you call him Fat Man. That was hysterical.
Short round, fat man. Okay, what about him?
So is he his Snapchat friend? Is this the guy he's talking to on a Target?
Yeah.
And
Is he the
one
guy
more
he
question.
Snapchats with?
Any of these guys assisted Stephanie in the search?
Oh,
Good question.
did any of these guys help you with the search? Kind of don't think so, but I'm not positive. I mean, they were well aware of what was going on and that, but I don't know if they actively like volunteered to come help search for him.
So they just threw him off the bridge.
Oh, yeah. I think they tried to figure out what the heck to do. Now they've got this guy.
Same day or a different day?
So what?
The same day or a different day?
Same day. Same day. I think they thought, I really think they thought he would wash away, like go away and not get hung up there and stay in the area. I think they really truly thought he would go down the river.
Yeah.
Did he bleed? Did he bleed in the trunk? If you look in the trunk of the car, is there any of his stuff left behind?
Well,
Whether material or biological or anything.
I don't know. I feel like they put something down. They put something down.
Maybe that's where you got that visual of fabric.
Yeah, yep.
So what did they do with whatever they wrapped him in?
I kind of feel like they may have burned that.
Where would they burn it?
Back in that abandoned building. I think they probably went back to that building after they dumped him. Is there anything that can tie these guys to it?
No,
The evidence is so weak, but I do feel like I feel like this is one of those classic situations where if you played them against each other, somebody would talk. I don't think, especially the two younger ones, I think that I feel like somebody would turn on somebody else. I just do.
The young one, the 18-year-old, we'll refer to him as. What is he feeling right now? Has he ever been in trouble before with the police?
I feel like he feels horrible, but I also feel like he'd rather be you than me, kind of thing. Has he ever been in trouble with the police? If he has, it's all been petty theft type stuff, or I don't get anything serious with him.
You mentioned initiation earlier. What did they do to initiate, if they did they initiate him into this little gang of theirs?
There's this thing that they make them do something to their own. They either have to steal from their own family or they have to hurt somebody that they know. It's really weird. Because I get that same theme with this kid. Like, they either made him steal from some older female, like rob your grandmother blind kind of thing. They made him do something too. But I almost feel like this guy may have beat somebody up. He may have beat up an older woman.
Did he get in trouble for it?
I don't know if there was charges pressed. I feel like he assaulted an older woman.
How did he know the woman?
I feel like it's a relative or somebody or a neighbor or somebody he knew. I'm just not sure if they pressed charges or not. It's pretty despicable. Yeah, they made him do, like, because they wanted to test their loyalty on whether you would be, like, willing to hurt your own family or whatever. That seems to be the loyalty test, whether you would hurt somebody in your own.
Maybe that's why Abdi.
And Abdi's like, no, not happening. Yeah, because I kind of feel like that other kid may have done something horrible. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it would be interesting. I would be interested in going over his Facebook page.
You should. You should see the first thing that he has on there.
Yeah.
His fear of water.
Stephanie, thank you for joining us. Hope you had some questions answered. And thank you for watching There Are No Secrets.
Thank you guys so much.
On January 17th of this year, Abdi Sharif, known to his friends and his family and his classmates as Abdi, went missing. He had been at Target on the northwest side of Des Moines, which is where he worked, and he wasn't scheduled to work that night, but he's just up there visiting. And when his mother came to pick him up, he wasn't there, which young adults make decisions all the time, kind of spontaneously. You've got an 18-year-old who maybe wasn't where he was supposed to be or where he said. That's not that unusual, but as we started looking a little bit closer at Abdi's history, his personality, we realized pretty quick that this was out of his character. He wasn't the type of kid to be irresponsible and just leave his mom sitting there without letting her know what was going on. As our detectives started looking into the case, one of the things that stood out right away was an absence of video evidence. We had really 2 shots of him walking away from Target. So we were able to determine that he voluntarily left the store, but after that, it was just one question after another. As the detectives started following the investigative leads, they got to the point where we called in the FBI because every lead led to another question. We had investigative leads that took us around the United States and to Canada, and all of them ended with one more question and not an answer. Ultimately, our detectives put in hundreds of investigative hours on this, and then the community started stepping up. We were getting Facebook groups. We had a couple search parties that the family had hosted that had an amazing turnout. Folks coming out of their homes helping us, research areas that we'd already searched, and just see if there's something that we could find to give the family a little peace of mind. On May 2nd, we got a call that a kayaker had spotted what they thought was a body in the Des Moines River near Prospect Park. That was pretty close to the spot where Abdi's phone had last pinged. So we responded out there. We got the fire department's wet team in the river, and we had some support from the Iowa Department of Natural Resources. We were able to recover that body, and following an autopsy this morning, we did determine that it was Abdi Sharif. Definitely a very sad moment for everybody involved. We were hoping that the longer this went on, chances were greater that we would find him alive somewhere and there'd be some sort of an explanation. This is definitely a sad ending, not the ending that we wanted, but at least we've got the beginning of some closure for the family. But now we've got a lot of questions about exactly, was this accidental, was it intentional, and how did he end up in the river? So the case is far from closed. We're going to see what we can do to get these answers for the family and for the community. But right now, this sad, tragic ending. This is a case that our investigators took home with them and kept them up at night and trying to figure out exactly why aren't these pieces coming together, because they should be. And it was very, very exhausting for a lot of folks. And there was no relief at the end of this. You could see it on the investigators' faces Saturday that this is not the ending that we wanted.